British Columbia, an unarmed man had his relaxing hike quickly turn for the worse when he ended up being relentlessly stalked by a fearless mountain lion. Initially, he pulls out his camera after spotting the sneaky animal slowly creeping up on him from the tall grass up ahead.
This is really freaky. That is a mountain lion. And he's stalking me.
They both stare each other down for many stressful minutes before the predator unfortunately decides that it wants to come get a closer look.
Hey, Mr. Mountain Lion. How are you doing?
Now in panic mode, the man stands there in absolute fear while the curious predator begins slowly circling around him. This eventually leads to another intense stare down between the two that goes on for many minutes. The clip jumps to another point where the man seems to have moved up the trail, but sadly it seems like he still isn't alone.
Stay back. Stay there. I'm not afraid of you.
Finally, the animal, thankfully, loses interest and simply walks away while the man stands there in utter disbelief. In eastern British Columbia, an adventurous hiker almost had a heart attack after coming face to face with an unexpected guest on the trail. At the start of the video, the nature lover is seen running down a rather narrow trail while recording his experience on a GoPro attached to his chest.
Coming up on your left. Thanks.
For quite a while, all appears to be going smoothly, and then, out of nowhere, a giant grizzly bear pops out and does this. Frightened by the sight of the predator charging at him, the hiker immediately picks up the pace and starts sprinting away as fast as he can. The video comes to an end as the man, thankfully, seems to have managed to escape from that situation unharmed. While taking a walk in the wild, this cameraman was surprised to come across a diamondback rattlesnake and decided to film it from closer. For a few seconds, all appears calm, and the cameraman gets quality footage of the snake. However, things quickly take a terrifying turn. The video ends abruptly with the snake still in striking position, so we can only hope that the man made it out of there safely. While checking trail cameras with his friend Rachel, this man spotted a sneaky mountain lion spying on them through the bushes and immediately started to panic.
There's a f***ing mountain lion right here. Get back, mountain lion. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back, mountain lion.
As the animal shows no signs of backing down, the pair do their best to de-escalate the situation while trying to back away slowly.
Get back. You good? Chill. Just chill. Get back. Hey, get back. Get back.
A few moments pass, and the animal nonchalantly starts to retreat back into the woods, giving them the chance to make their escape.
Hey, get back. We're here. We're still here. Go away, mountain lion. We're still here. Oh, it's scratching its claws.
Fortunately, after a while, the mountain lion decides to leave the hikers be, and they make it out safely. In Alberta, Canada, Two completely unarmed men were sure they were about to be eaten alive when they were horrifyingly chased down by a very curious black bear. This chilling clip starts off as the animal comes running out of the tree line up ahead, seemingly curious to grab a closer look of the two men. Most likely expecting it to simply stand there and look at them, they both calmly start walking backwards in an attempt to leave the area.
Hey, back. Stay. That's it. That's as far as you're going. Stop. Stop. Right now, stop.
Despite it being outnumbered, the beast immediately begins following the men as they continue to make their way back to the trail. Being completely unarmed, they both try to keep an eye out for large rocks on the ground that they could use as weapons if things were to go south.
It'll be your part from now on, okay?
Okay, great.
Yeah?
Look around for a rock. What do you say? If he hits, I gotta hit him in the head. Back! Back!
All while continuing to follow the men around, the beast jumps onto a few trees and seems to get distracted by its environment, which gives them some hope that it might move on and leave them alone eventually.
Jesus. Atta boy. Show us how you do it. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, thanks. That's cool, buddy boy. You just keep doing that. That's it, boy. Stay away from me, though.
Finally, as the animal keeps on playing around with surrounding trees, the men decide to make a run for it as their car is now only about a few hundred feet away. After what must have been the most terrifying run of their lives, both men thankfully make it back to their car in time and sit there in utter shock of what just occurred. During a hiking trip in Saguaro National Park, an innocent woman got locked in an intense face-off with a frightening cougar, and the outcome is freaky. This intense video starts out when the unsuspecting hiker catches sight of an intruder in the trees above her campsite and starts recording.
There's a cougar in the tree above me. I had a feeling. The way those deer were acting.
Refusing to be overcome by fear, this brave woman attempts to scare off the mountain lion by screaming, but it remains unfazed. When yelling doesn't work, she desperately decides to throw stones at the predator, which hopefully won't make it any angrier. Seemingly bored with the confrontation, the animal heads out moments later, leaving the hiker to seek refuge in her tent. On a trail in Colorado, a seemingly normal hike turned into a nightmare for these two men when they encountered a black bear trying to make its way across the valley in peace. As the video starts, the men stand there frozen in fear as the bear is seen slowly but surely closing in towards them from the hill in front.
How you feeling?
Getting a little close.
Hey bear, where you going? You guarding the trail, huh?
Unfortunately, things remain quite tense as the animal begins suspiciously circling the hikers, not really making its intentions clear.
Don't do anything stupid, bud.
At some point, the bear starts getting a little too close, and the man at the front tries bravely confronting it with his shovel.
Got some frosted tips. Hey! Hey, bear. Hey, bear.
After a bit of waiting, the men realize that the animal most likely disappeared back into the forest, and they decide finally to go on with their hike. Justin from the Limitless Outdoors YouTube channel had the fear of his life after coming face to face with an entire pack of hungry wolves, all while being completely unarmed. Having heard howls on a nearby mountain, he decides to let out a few calls with the help of his whistle in order to grab their attention.
What a day not to have a gun.
After only 5 minutes, members of the pack already start appearing right down the hill, seemingly curious to find out what that noise was. This is probably where I'd call it a day and decide to run for my life, but Justin still tries to get them to come closer by letting out a few more hunting calls. The two hungry man-eaters stare at the man for a few tense minutes, but eventually decide to spare him to go back with the others who already started leaving. I truly hope that Justin realizes how lucky he is to still be alive. In the Alaskan wilderness, these two hikers were faced with a very dangerous situation when a young and curious bear started following them around. Watch to see how things play out. At first, the men start recording immediately, as the predator can be seen lurking just a few feet away from them while they do their best to calm it down.
Go on, bear. Go on, bear.
For many minutes, the beast follows the hikers around as they try to avoid becoming its next meal. However, the animal continues to intimidate them by showing off its size.
Just keep walking. Go on, bear.
Eventually, the hikers and the bear manage to end up just a few feet apart, and the men brace themselves for the worst-case scenario. Although risky, the hikers decide to turn their backs to the animal and walk away as fast as they can as the video comes to an end. In Marshy Point Nature Center, an exploring YouTuber paid the ultimate price for getting on the bad side of a vicious copperhead snake. The clip begins as we see the snake enthusiast taking a walk in the park with his camera turned on in hopes of spotting worthwhile ophidians.
Hoping to hike a snake up or two. Got a couple hours to kill, so without further ado, let's get to it and see what we can find.
For a time, the snake sighting adventure appears to be rather uneventful, and then, out of nowhere, things take a frightening turn.
Oh, no. Not good. Not good.
Immediately after getting bitten, the man remains calm and finds a way to inform the appropriate authorities, who in turn step in and handle the situation professionally.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. It just stings a little bit.
It just stings a little bit? Okay.
One right now.
All right, buddy.
Okay, cool.
We need to get you in that Kubota. We're going to drive you out here.
Eventually, the explorer is taken to the hospital, where it is confirmed that it was a dry bite, and he is discharged shortly after. What would you do if you and your friends encountered two adolescent grizzly bears in the middle of nowhere? This question was unfortunately presented to a group of hikers in Alaska when they encountered these two fearless brown bears.
Hey, chill. We chill. Yep. Yeah. Back off. Yeah, I know we're close, but we're not that close, man. We're not gonna be friends.
Although frightened by the predators, the friends surprisingly appear to stay calm, even cracking jokes during the encounter.
Yeah, we know you run this place. Yeah, this is some real Alaska stuff right here. Yeah, I know. It's really cool, but also like kind of really not cool.
Yeah.
Just in case, though, the men still try to back away calmly, while the bears keep acting as though they're smelling something tasty nearby.
They're just curious.
Yeah, 100%. I'm alright with it so far.
Yeah. You guys are good? Alright. You guys start talking once I leave.
Luckily, both animals eventually lose interest in the men and simply turn around and keep walking down the trail. This blood-racing video begins with a girl recording herself walking her dog on a snowy wildlife trail, probably expecting that it was going to be a normal walk as usual. While continuing down the trail, the owner stops her dog from going forward as they encounter a Karelian bear dog that was being walked off-leash. As the unleashed dog gets closer and closer, the situation continues to become more dire for both parties, when suddenly the unfortunate happens. Fortunately, the woman managed to separate the two dogs in the end. In Katmai National Park, three friends had a truly horrifying encounter with a huge grizzly bear that took a seriously unexpected turn. After spotting the beast from down the trail, the three friends quickly regroup in order to hopefully grab some nice photos of it. They immediately regret their decision after realizing that the menacing bear is now walking right in their direction.
Let's get back.
Out of fear for their safety, they begin to carefully walk backwards away from the beast.
Let's back up.
Hi there.
Hey, guy.
Once satisfied with their distance from the animal, they simply stand there in hopes that it will move on and walk back into the woods. That's until the woman spots something else behind them.
Oh, one behind us too.
Okay.
We're okay. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Now surrounded by two man-eaters, they immediately regroup once again and wait for the beasts to hopefully leave the area. After a few minutes, the bear up ahead finally walks back into the forest, which allows them to safely continue on their path. On an organized tour of Glacier National Park in Montana, a group of innocent tourists came way too close to a huge grizzly bear trying to mind its own business. After spotting it, a small portion of the crowd attempts to get closer in order to grab a few nice pictures of this majestic, but also very lethal animal. Suddenly, the beast begins running towards the tourists. Fearing for their lives, they quickly get out of its way and get back with the main group.
Yeah, he just wants to get through.
The thankfully present park ranger takes on her duty to protect the tourists and starts yelling at the bear.
He's going that way.
Yeah, no, Ben,
Surprisingly uninterested with potential weeks' worth of food right next to it, the beast decides to mind its own business and to continue on its path. I hope those people realize how lucky they were that that grizzly bear wasn't due for a meal and didn't feel threatened. They should all be very thankful to still be alive and in one piece. In Calero County Park, San Jose, a biker and his companions came face to face with a sneaky mountain lion. Can you see it? At the beginning of the video, the excited biker announces that he's spotted a mountain lion hiding behind some bushes and had begun recording, hoping to get footage of it on its way out.
Literally 10 feet over there. Let's wait for Carly. We'll see it climb up. Hey, Mom. There's a mountain lion literally on the other side of that.
After moments of waiting, the youngster realizes that the cougar has no intention of coming out, so he decides to go after it.
I want to get some footage.
Upon reaching the bushes, the biker and his crew receive a rude shock when they come face to face with the predator.
Holy shit, you're big. I'm a little scared. I'm looking it in the eyes. It's looking at me.
Fascinated by what he had just seen, the youngster decides to end the video to get pictures of the mountain lion, so it is unclear what happens next. The clip begins intensely with a silverback gorilla scaring a group of tourists by doing something extremely terrifying and unexpected. After the first charge, the giant primate does not leave the group alone and continues to harass the tourist, trying to take pictures of it.
Come this way. Don't worry. Don't run. Don't run.
Trying to de-escalate the situation, the group makes their movements as silent and slow as possible to avoid angering the gorilla further.
It's a good time for a picture. Huh? Can I take a picture now, okay?
This seems to work, and the animal starts to walk away, but it unfortunately decides to show them one last act of aggression. Luckily, it let go of the woman relatively quickly, leaving no one harmed. In Katmai National Park, an enjoyable expedition unexpectedly turned into a nightmare when a huge mother bear, accompanied by her two cubs, decided to pay these unarmed tourists a visit. At first, they begin filming after spotting the bear family, unfortunately heading towards them from the shoreline to their right.
Guys, let's move down this way just real slowly, as far as you can. We just want to give her some room to go by.
All the tourists continue to remain frozen in fear as the completely fearless bears now begin dangerously walking right past them.
There's a mama and two cubs very close to her.
Luckily, they didn't feel threatened by the humans and simply decided to walk on, leaving everyone there completely speechless. Yosemite National Park, a very unlucky man was unfortunately caught in the middle of an intense confrontation between an aggressive coyote and a mountain lion. While walking down a path, he hears coyote screams in the distance and decides to follow the noise. Eventually, he spots one not too far away that weirdly appears to be barking at nothing. As it begins running around the valley, he tries to follow it around with his camera when he finally finds out what it's been barking at this whole time. Seemingly trying to avoid a fight, the cougar remains in the tree for a few more minutes, but eventually gets fed up and decides to jump down towards the coyote. For the next few minutes, the man stands there filming the mountain lion on top of the gate as the relentless coyote keeps trying to find a way up. Eventually, with the cougar refusing to get down from the fence, the coyote simply walks back towards its pack, and the man proceeds to stop recording altogether. What these tourists thought was supposed to be a heartwarming encounter with a mother bear and her two cubs quickly turned into a terrifying experience. At the start, the encounter begins with a few tourists taking pictures and admiring the animals that are only a few feet from them. With only a park ranger keeping this encounter from being a horrifying disaster, the mood quickly changes after the mother bear does this. After spraying the animals, another park ranger proceeds to throw rocks at the bears to drive them away from the road. Luckily, all the bears retreat back into the forest, and the tourists proceed to move on with their adventure safely. While taking nature photographs in Montana, a man received quite the surprise when he noticed a huge cougar taking an interest in his activities. At the start of the video, the explorer catches a glimpse of the majestic animal in the bushes and immediately begins to record. Noticing that it is being watched, the animal starts to make its way towards the man in a menacing manner. Refusing to be intimidated, the courageous man stands his ground and continues to record the animal despite it now being in close proximity to him. In one last attempt to frighten the man behind the camera, the cougar stops and the pair engage in a stare-down for several seconds. Thankfully, the mountain lion appears to lose interest in the man after the stare-down and instead retreats into the bushes. The beginning of this clip shows a group of tourists slowly approaching an enormous bison peacefully grazing on grass in Yellowstone National Park.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Eventually, the animal seems to be getting agitated, so some of the tourists try to evacuate the area, but that only makes the beast angrier. Fortunately, the herbivore stops and leaves the group alone in the end. While walking around a field, a man and his dog encountered a terrifying and dangerous snake, which stopped them in their tracks. Realizing the danger they are both in, the man calls his dog toward him as he is afraid to walk past the snake alone.
There's a big mother snake there. That son is big. It's a cool morning. And he's you better come get it. I can't walk past this snake.
The man's dog was his companion on the walk, and as the owner in no way wanted to go near the snake, he had to call his pet for help. The Doberman successfully takes care of their situation by whipping the snake around and throwing it away. Thankfully, the encounter did not escalate and the situation was taken care of quickly. In West Colorado, an unarmed hiker had an intense standoff with a very protective mother bear that escalated rather quickly. After spotting the two cubs in a tree, he immediately begins recording in order to explain what's going on.
There's 2 more cubs 20 yards away. And the sow just charged up here, but she couldn't see me.
Fearing for his safety, he starts throwing rocks at the mother bear, but unfortunately doesn't get the reaction he expected.
Hey! 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 Back up! Back up! I'm gonna spray you, Mama. I'm gonna spray you.
Now in panic mode, he begins carefully walking back up the mountain in hopes to avoid another confrontation. He thankfully gets back on the trail and tries to process what just happened. While hiking Mount Roberts in Juneau, Alaska, 2 men came face to face with an extremely curious black bear. This nerve-wracking clip opens with one of the hikers trying to scare off the animal while recording the ordeal on his camera.
You got the camera? Yep, it's rolling. Oh, well, that's cool. Hey. No.
Instead of running off like the men expect it to, the predator continues to approach them at a steady pace, forcing them to slowly retreat.
Go on. Hey, fella. Go on.
This encounter stretches on for quite some time, but eventually the animal seems to lose interest in the men and decides to venture into the nearby bushes in search of food. Taking advantage of the bear's distracted state, the hikers pull out their bear spray and wait for the animal's next move.
And then, all right, well, let's keep going here. Let's give him a little bit of space.
Since the animal fails to make a move, the hikers decide to continue their trip. On Nootka Island in British Columbia, YouTuber Dave Bazette and his friend had a shockingly close encounter with a lone wolf looking for its pack. Having just landed on the island, both men immediately start recording as they spot the predator coming down from the forest up ahead. It immobilizes not too far away in order to let out a few loud howls, most likely trying to locate its pack. Both parties continue howling at each other for a few more minutes before the predator, unfortunately, decides to come get a closer look at its potential dinner. Despite the wolf being right there and clearly showing no fear, the two friends continue acting completely normally while still letting out a couple more howls. Finally, having likely heard the calls from its pack in the distance, the animal thankfully turns away and runs back up the beach into the woods. Those two men should thank God every day that that wolf wasn't joined by its pack of man-eaters. While camping in the snowy mountains, a man and his loyal companion became the target of a double grizzly bear attack. At the beginning of this video, we can hear the man screaming at the top of his lungs to prevent his poor dog from approaching the bears up ahead.
Raina, get over here! Get over here, Raina! Raina! Raina, come here! Raina! come here!
He calls his dog several times, but to no avail. He then proceeds to walk closer to his dog, despite the predators being only a few meters away.
Raina, can you please come here? Raina, come here. Get over here. Raina!
His dog doesn't stop going closer to them, so the man, left with no other choice, runs to his dog in order to tie it to a leash.
Well, smart bears. Raina, get over here. All that noise, jeez.
Luckily, no one was harmed during the encounter, and they both returned to their tent, as the bears are nowhere to be seen.